Okay, so let's take a look at how to multiply fractions. And we're going to also talk about why this is considered a multiplication problem. So at DPA, 2/5 of students perform at grade level on NWEA. Of these students, 3/4 were proficient on MSTEP. What fraction of students were proficient on both tests? So we call grade level proficient as well. So we're looking at grade level or proficient on both tests. And of the students, if we just look at our school as a whole, 2/5 of students were proficient or at grade level on NWEA. And then it says of these students who were proficient on NWEA, 3/4 were also proficient on MSTEP. So of the 2/5 that were proficient on NWEA, 3/4 were proficient on MSTEP. So here's what that setup will look like. 3/4 of the students who are proficient on MSTEP were also proficient on NWEA. And let's take a look at this of right here. Typically in math, if I see of, and we're talking about math, typically it's going to mean multiply. So here's what that would look like. If I'm going to multiply here, I'm going to say that 3/4 times 2/5. And when you're multiplying fractions, you can do it a couple of different ways. There's a quick way to do it, and then there's a way that's going to cause you a little bit of extra work at the end. So the quick way to do it is just multiply across the top and multiply across the bottom. So if I multiply across the top, 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 5 is 20. Now some folks will stop right there, but that is not the final answer because 6 and 20 can be reduced. And here's what it reduces to. 6 and 20 both have a common factor. So if I look at the factors of 6, how many ways can I get 6 using multiplication? I can do 1 times 6. I can do 2 times 3. So there's all the factors of 6. If I look at the factors of 20, I can do 1 times 20. I can do 2 times 10. I can do 4 times 5. And that should be it. So the common factor, the greatest common factor, it looks like is 2. So I can divide both the numerator and denominator by 2. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. 20 divided by 2 is 10, and here is my final answer. But I said there's a faster way of doing it. Let me show you the faster way of doing this same thing. 3/4 times 2/5. Here it is. 3/4 times 2/5. Instead of reducing at the end, I can reduce within the problem. Reducing within the problem, I can say, well, I can look at 3/4. 3/4, the common factors of 3/4 is just 1. 1 times 3, 1 times 4, 2 times 2, nope, those are not the same. 2/5, nope, they don't have any common factors. But if I look diagonal, 2 and 4 have common factors. 1 times 2 is 2, and then 2 times 2 is 4. So both of them have a common factor of 2, which means I can divide them both by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then I multiply. 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 5 is 10. So I get the same exact answer.